Hey everybody, welcome back to Private Club Radio. I'm your host, Denny Corby. Thanks again for tuning in for this next episode. It's going to be a good one. I have a really fun guest. I am going to bring on Mr. Michael Gutenplan from the Members Only Show. We are going to talk about your member events. It's a longer segment, so I broke it up into a couple different segments. I'll probably be broken up into one or two of the next episodes, just because we went a little bit long. I don't want to have one giant long episode. And there's a couple other segments, new segments that I want to start to bring in, so I didn't want to just make this whole 1 hour long episode, just one big giant long conversation. So I'm going to split up Michael's chat I have into a couple other segments, and then I'm going to bring in some new segments. So Mr. Me and Michael Gutenplan, he is the Members Only Show. He's a third generation psychic, really good friend of mine. I do more of a magic show. He does more of a mind reading show. It is absolutely fantastic. He deep dives and gets to unlock your members' psychic potential. It's a really good time. But for this episode, we are talking about how to get members out to your events, how to get them out to the social events, how to get butts in seats. We have a really good talk about that. And I have two new segments I'm going to introduce. One is going to be a laughter segment. One of my best friends, one of my colleagues, Mark Riccadonna, is a stand-up comedian. He's a writer for SNL. He and I do our show called The Laugh Pack, which is the two of us. He opens up the show, does some stand-up comedy, gets the crowd engaged, riled up, excited. Then I come in and do the second part of the show. It's a really good time. So we're just going to do some fun jokes for the episodes. Really fun one-liners, little fun joke stories, things that you can tell around the clubs or the office, wherever you're listening from. Just bring some life, some laughter, some humor into the episode. And then the next segment I'm going to start presenting is one about experiences. To me, I think that's why I really enjoy magic and the entertainment, is for giving people really unique experiences. And that's why I also feel like people join our clubs. That's why people join clubs, is for that experience. It's something they can't get every place else. So I want to start sharing some really cool and unique experiences, whether it's my own personal stories or reaching out to other people and guests, having other people come on and share their stories. But I just want to share stories of really cool customer service that you've done for people, really cool bits of hospitality you've done for other people, maybe some people or other companies have done for you. I just want to share little tiny details, little tiny ways that you can go above and beyond to really create that once-in-a-lifetime, that unique, memorable experience for who's ever in front of you. So this episode's going to be fun, and let's get to it. So right now, I would love to bring on one of my really good friends. For those of you that don't know, you're going to know. So I also do a stand-up magic show, primarily for private clubs. You're going to hear me talk about it a lot. I also do a show called The Laugh Pack, which is a show I do with a friend of mine. His name is Mark Riccadonna. He's a stand-up comedian. He and I do a ton of shows together. It's The Laugh Pack. It's really fun, kind of like the Rat Pack, but a take on that. We call it The Laugh Pack. So it's either me, him, and we bring up to one more other variety act. And we just have a really good time. So he comes in, he opens and hosts the show. I then come and do the rest of the show. So it's anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes, a really, really, really fun evening. And so for the show, he and I do these bits where it's street jokes. So we'll do like one-liners. We'll get up and just do clean jokes, maybe some little bit of like, edgy, dirty ones for the crowd, just those old school, like funny street jokes. So I was talking to Mark. I said, hey, let's start bringing this to the show. Let's start bringing this to Private Club Radio. So I thought every episode I'm going to bring Mark on, and we're just going to tell a little quick one-liner joke or two, a little fun, jokey story, stuff that you can tell back at your club to your members, to your employees, just trying to bring some laughter, some fun, some giggles, whether you tell the people or not. I just think laughter is the best medicine. I love to laugh. It's one of my favorite things. So this week we have jokes and laughs. I haven't come up with the name yet, but ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend, comedian, writer for SNL, and just all around good guy, Mr. Mark Riccadonna.
A guy walks into a bar in Ireland and he walks up to the bartender and he goes, "What's the quickest way to Dublin?" And the bartender looks at him and he goes, "What, are you walking or are you driving?" He goes, "Well, I'm driving." He goes, "Well, that's the quickest way." the world's worst actor finally gets a job. His agent calls him. He goes, I got a job for you. You're working on Broadway. He goes, no way. When? He goes, tonight. Get in a cab right now. You have to open the second act. So the guy gets all excited. He goes, what am I doing? What am I doing? He goes, don't worry. You get there. You put the costume on. You have one line, but it's really important. You come out and you go, hark, I hear the cannons roar. And from there, Act 2 starts. So that's all you have to remember. He gets in a cab. He's in there. He's practicing. Hark, I hear the cannons roar. Hark, I hear the cannons roar. Hark, I hear the cannons roar. He shows up. They go, thank God you're here. They throw a robe on him. They put a crown on him. They go, all right, now, as the curtains open, smoke comes up. You come out, deliver your line. He comes out. He walks out. The smoke's coming up. The curtains open up. And just from the orchestra pit, you hear it go, boom, boom. And he goes, what the hell was that?
I just love the long ass setup.
Yeah.
One of the other segments I would like to start bringing in, and like I said, I don't have a word for it yet or a title for it. But I thought we're going to just keep doing them. We're going to start them. The titles will come. But I want to share really cool and unique customer member different cool experiences that you've encountered, you've done for other people, personal stories I want to bring on other people. But I love really cool moments of great hospitality, customer service, just going that little extra percent, that little 1, 2, 3% better, more than what somebody else would do. And this story, this bit I want to talk about is almost... it's like 8 years old, 10 years old. I can't even do math. Doesn't matter. But it's something that I've kept with me for 8 years, and it's a bottle of water. I kept a bottle of water with me for 8 years, and I'll tell you why. I'll give you the short version. There's going to be a second part to this story, which I'll get to in a minute. But just a really cool moment. I talk about this often. It's the little details. So I did a club show back in 2015, November 6th, for Colonial Ridge in Harrisburg. It might be a different name now. And I remember this because I still have the bottle of water from that show. So what happened was there was a group that came. They got a limo, a car service to bring them to the show, which is genius. But when I saw they had the bottles of water on their table after, and I snagged one because I looked, and they looked different than the bottles of water at the club, the bottles of water I've seen. They were a unique bottle, a little bit shorter, nice color blue, but the label was unique. And it was a sticker label that the limo company had just done in their office. And what it was is just the limo company and the name and contact. It had the logo of the club, and it just had the event that they were taking the people to. So it just said the club's at Colonial Ridge, Denny Corby's Comedy Magic and Mind Reading Show, along with NYC comedian Adam Lucidi, the date of the event, and a little advertisement from one of their sponsors. Absolutely genius. Think about that. You hired a company to pick you up. You get into the limo. You're already excited. You're getting in the car service, and you see bottles of water, which is great to see because it's always a plus, but also little customized labels. And these are solid bottles of water. These are like big bottles, like 12 ounces plus. But you have that nice little label. And for me, it shows the appreciation. It shows they went that 2 or 3% more. But what also I think subconsciously it tells something is, hey, if this company took the time to make this little label, this is probably a really safe company. There are a lot of companies that are, probably a little bit less now because of the age of internet reviews and stuff, but there are a lot of fly-by-nights. There's a lot of, people are hesitant. They're worried about a lot more things these days. So for me, if I were to go into, let's just say a limo company, I ordered a limo, a car service, and I see that they just had a bottle of water, and whether it was blank and they just wrote my name on it, which is another cool thing. No matter if there's that little bit of customization, to me, that solidifies in my head that this limo is going to be safe. This car is going to be safe. If they took that little bit of time to make a sticker label for my bottle of water for my little trip or my little group, they probably get their car inspected often, right? They probably make sure the alignments are good, the brakes are good, the brake lines. It's that rabbit hole that you can go down thinking of, hey, if they went this little, if they did this little detail, they probably take care of everything else. Now, what's funny is I've had this water bottle. I've shared this story a bunch of times. I want to share it right now for this story. So as I'm looking at the water bottle, I thought, hey, why don't I see if this limo company is still in business? So spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you. So I went and I found the gentleman. So I'm looking at the label. I found the gentleman. He's still in business, still doing limos. I'm reading the label of the bottle and it says BYOB, brand your own bottle. And I thought this is genius because in my head, he probably just took the label, the bottle label, and just did a sticker. This man also owns the label. So they make the bottle labels, the bottles, and he owns the water company. So he can also do the whole label, the custom bottles of water, all that stuff. What I'm trying to get at is I went so far down the rabbit hole, I called Jeff. His name's Jeff Kintz. He has Filson Water in Carlisle, PA. He has BYOB, brand your own bottle. He has a limo service. Anyway, I called the man. I called him. I said, hey, Jeff, this is super random. I explained who I am, what I'm doing for the podcast show. I think he thought it was a scam at first, but I'm going to get him on the show. We are going to chat. We're going to get recorded. I just want to pick his brain just to see why he does this. Obviously, it's for his bottle company, but he didn't have to do that. So I'm going to bring him on. We're going to talk about really cool customer service and experience because that's the line of business he is in, obviously, between the limos and the custom bottles of water. So I just thought that was fun. Next episode, we are going to bring Jeff on. He's going to talk to him for a couple minutes, get his insights. So think about cool moments, cool experiences that you've given to other members, other customers in different jobs, cool experiences other businesses have given to you. Please share them with us. Go on to privateclubradio@gmail.com. Share them there. You know where we're at. You know who I am, Denny Corby, Private Club Radio. We're all over. Share it with us. I would love to share some of your stories with us, share with everybody else here on the show. So maybe have you come on and share that story. So I just thought it was really cool, really fun. That's going to be a new segment and can't wait for the next segment or two. We are going to bring on Jeff and talk to him, the man behind the water bottle and the company. This is so great. I'm so excited. I didn't expect to go that far down the rabbit hole, but that'll be coming up soon. So check it out. It is time for our guest of the week. I am super excited to bring on Mr. Michael Gutenplan, the members only show, third generation psychic. He was named Club Entertainer of the Year by Boardroom Magazine. He is a great friend of mine, a really good colleague. He and I are pretty much the only ones who specialize in the private club world. So I do more of a magic show. He does more of a mind reading show. He unlocks your members' psychic potential. It is such a fun show and experience. And he and I, obviously, we're really good friends. We're both in the same world. So I want to bring him on. And today we're not going to talk about our shows and things. Obviously, it'll come up a little bit just in things that we talk about. But the goal for this is to really just talk about how to put on really great member events, how to put on amazing events for your club, how to get creative with them, how to get members into seats, how to get them out. This is a longer episode. I think he and I talked, it was about 60 minutes. Don't worry, this is not going to be 60 minutes. We're going to break this up into 2 or 3 different segments over the next couple episodes because there are a lot of really good nuggets in here. And some of them might not be great right now, but just remember some of these. There's some really good nuggets in this one and the upcoming segment. So we're just going to split it up into a couple because obviously, you don't want to hear me and Mike talk for an hour. Well, maybe me, but not so much Mike. Kidding, Mike, if you're listening. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of my very good friends, third generation psychic, magician, comedian, entertainer, mind reader. This dude is absolutely unbelievable. Please welcome the members only show, Michael Gutenplan.
There's like 2 or 3 purposes. The first is give your members value in their membership. Look at this special thing that we got that nobody else in our town or community gets. You have to be a member of the club or a guest of to attend the show. I think that's the number one reason everybody's doing it. The second reason is we want to encourage members to come after hours. We're a golf club. You can make twice as much money if you open up for dinner or do events. Let's start doing events to get people to come in. So I'm helping the club, start with something that is going to work, a proven act. The third thing is, there's that odd club where it's, I guess we got to do something. And it happens once in a while. It's like, I think we got to do member events. I don't really want to. I don't really care about them. But sure, we got your email. We'll book you. We'll give you a shot, kid. And you go there, and those are the best ones because the bar is set low. There is no expectation for anything. The members don't expect anything, and you blow them away. And usually, it's usually this response of, "Huh, that was like," it's presented as a question. That was really good, huh? Because they're not expecting anything. They're expecting to talk to their friend, and I got a minimum to use up, and they have this thing at the club. Sure, let's go to it. For me, it doesn't matter the reason the club's doing it. It's last night's show. I did 3 30-minute shows for as many as 200 people and as few as 4. And every show was the exact same thing. It was the same energy, same excitement, same passion, because those 4 people need to tell their friends exactly what the 100, 200, 300 people told their friends. It has to be the same.
Oh, yeah. They become the cheerleaders.
Yep.
And those people who show up, going back to the smaller one, is like those people now when you come back, they bring 2, 3 tables. They're bringing their friends. They're bringing the other members. They're getting the hype there. And that's almost one of the best parts for me.
It's I see this in Florida a lot where you have a plethora of clubs in a 1-mile radius. And what will happen is I'll do one club. Tomorrow I'm flying to Florida. I got a whole bunch of shows. And I'll do a show in Boca area, right? And that event planner will email their friends at other clubs and say hey, you got to have this guy. And the other clubs will email me and say, hey, we heard you did a show at Glen Eagles or wherever. I guess you did a good job. We got to have you. and the reason they're saying that is everybody's the same. The last 7 magicians they've had, the last 6 mentalists, the last 5 Sinatra impersonators have done more or less the same show, maybe not the same material, but it's the way a member described it to me once is, we're used to cruise ship and you're better than cruise ship. And that's not knocking down cruise ship performers, because I know top of the line cruise ship performers. But what they're saying is, we get the guys who do a club every night, phone it in, or do their act, and it's fine. It's passable. You're better than that. You're giving us something extra. And I've been doing it for 7 years, and it's still hard to get into certain places. They don't want to take a risk with someone new. And when they do, they're blown away. And it's not that I'm better, it's that I'm different. And they're used to the same.
Yeah. And, you mentioned it earlier. It's like hiring the pro, not to toot our own horns, but you and I pretty much focus and do primarily clubs. And, if they don't hire me, they hire you, and vice versa. How many times have we talked to clubs, and they're like, oh, we got Mike. And same thing for you, like, oh, they got Denny. We have those fan bases, but it's also,
and my response is, aren't you lucky?
It's same. It's like same. I was like, no, but you have to hire them. Like, totally different show, completely different. But I think what we do, and I've had club managers tell us who've hired both, is it's about the members. It's being in the living room. You're not phoning it in. It's about us in this weird bubble just for tonight. And it starts as soon as they get there, we're all just having a good time. It's that where you're not just there for a show. You're there for the whole evening. At least that's my point of view. It's talking to the people before, talking to the people after, just having that fun. Oh, don't be.
And it's blasting hotel rooms.
But no,
start over.
It's
Hi,
just
everybody.
those.
I'm Michael.
Yeah. But no, it just boils down to knowing the club world, knowing the people, knowing how to chat with the staff, but then also, chat with the club members, because it's all different conversations, and doing a show in a club is different. And when I say club, private club, not like a comedy club or anything, which is a totally different environment too. It's knowing how to kind of play that game of a club.
It's interesting. I had a conversation with one of your clients who you passed on to me the other day. And she goes, one of the things we love about Denny is that he engages. He talks to the audience. He has fun. And I do think, especially in the world of magic and mind reading and this kind of thing, unfortunately, anybody can go into a store, buy the trick, and go do a show. It's an unfortunate thing about magic. And the reason I say that is not one person has ever paid for a show for the tricks. They pay for the performer. And what happens is I'll talk to a lot of clubs who say no. And I go, may I ask why? Who are you using? And they go, oh, we have a member who does shows for us. Now, twice they've said the member's name and I'm like, holy cow, that person, great. I can't compete with that person. But, like they have retired, oh, we have David Copperfield. I'm like, totally get it. But for 98% of the clubs, we have a member who's a hobbyist and he does our, Easter brunch. And I think that's appropriate. Use them for the Easter brunch or use her for the Easter brunch. I think one of the challenges we have is convincing someone, no, this is an evening out like you do with your Frank Sinatra impersonator. That's what we do. And it's just as enjoyable and you're going to get the turnout. Or how you hired, the Temptations cover band? That's the kind of evening we do. Trust me, it's going to work. And the pushback is sometimes like, our members won't like that. And I do think it's because they haven't seen people like you or me. They've seen someone do mind reading where they have a little piece of paper and they go, you're thinking of Paris? And the person goes, yeah. And they go, ta-da. And the audience goes, okay. It's a good trick, but it's not a good show. And engagement and personality and knowing, as you just said, knowing that you're performing not at a comedy club or a theater, but you're performing at a country club in someone's home. This is their home. When you come to the country club, it's welcome home. That is a specialized market. And I do think there is a place for the strolling magician at Easter brunch. Hire the local person for that. There's no reason to fly me in for I'm happy to do it if you're willing to pay, but there's no reason to fly me in for strolling brunch. But don't think because the person can say pick a card, they can also do a full evening show. It's two different skill sets. And really the skill is experience, having the experience that you've done it.
Now, have you, I don't know if you'll agree on this. This is just something me and my friends talk about too. And I think it's maybe an industry thing as well. It's if you hire a cover band, if you see whatever, and they're not good, you'll probably hire or go see another one. If you see a bad magic act or a bad person like us, it's hard to get those people to circle back, even if they've had a bad comedy night where, let's just say, someone just went off the rails, dirty, blue, political. They still sometimes associate that with our show and go, I don't think we can do that. We had some members get upset or whatever it was. So sometimes it's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
There's a psychological reason, which is theater. You inherently understand that every movie, every TV show, every theatrical performance is different. So if you don't like a show, it maybe is because of the actor, it maybe is because of the script, but you understand that the next thing you're going to see has a different script, different actors, different story. It's going to be different. Same thing with music. If I hear a band that I don't like, there's different types of music. The assumption is, well, I saw a magician. I don't like magic. And the reasoning is, it goes back to what we were talking about a moment ago, which is anybody can buy a trick and anybody can do it. So your experience with magic is not as big as it is with comedy, theater, television, film, music. So because you have limited experience, you can only base it off of the one or two things you've seen. There was a person I was talking to at a convention, and we were talking about shows, and he goes, and it changed my outlook. He goes, you got to think about it. If you go to a magic convention where people love magic, and you ask them to raise their hand, who outside of Las Vegas, so outside of David Copperfield, Penn and Teller, Chris Angel, whoever, raise your hand if you've seen an evening of magic or mentalism, a full evening, 1 hour show. 20 people will raise their hand out of hundreds. And if you ask those people, have you seen an evening of magic outside of, the theater in your hometown on a touring show? Maybe 10 of those. And those are corporate events. Those are someone who worked at a corporation. And 20 years ago, Harry Blackstone Jr. came to their national conference and did a show. So even the people that love magic and mind reading don't get to see an evening show. So what I took away from that is the real importance of every show that I do. If I'm doing a country club show, if I'm doing a show in someone's living room, if I'm doing a show for 4 people, I have to believe that this is the one and only time in their entire life that they will experience this. They're not going to come back next year. They're not going to see me on the road. This is it. And I must give them that incredible experience. The problem is not everybody has that attitude. Not everybody has the experience to make it work no matter the situation. And not everybody in the magic world is smart enough to make a unique show. Even if you're using a store-bought trick, make it your own. Make it something that nobody will see anybody else do. And when they see the hack, is how I'll put it, the person phoning it in, or the person who bought a bunch of tricks, somehow got a gig and is doing it, they inherently feel disappointed. They feel hurt and that it's a personal attack. And their assumption is, well, this guy or girl who did the show at my club is doing the same stuff everybody, like, what? How could it be that different? They're not Copperfield. If they were, I guess I just don't like magic. And that's where it comes from. And I've done a lot of shows at clubs, especially because, nobody comes to see me. They come to spend their money, their minimum. They were dragged there by someone. They come up.
We're just something else to do.
We're something else. There is no ego when I show up. They come up after and they go, I wasn't expecting that. And really what they were expecting is, Uncle Billy going, oh, I got the quarter, or and
which is funny. Sorry to interrupt, but even if we have good promo, we have good stuff, and they still go, oh, we really thought it was going to be subpar. And you're like,
because with this, I have a film studio, so anybody can look like a pro. Anybody can create a website and get up. I always we'll talk advice for club managers in a second. But something I tell performers is stop posting videos of you doing magic on the street. Stop posting videos of you on an empty stage. Post a video. It's the worst advice I can give someone, coming from a world of film and television myself. But post a crappy video shot from the back of a room, because what it says is they've done it before. It doesn't. You don't need to show someone your act. You need to show them that you've done the act for this environment. So if you want to do corporate events, if you want to hire someone for your club or your event, watch their promo video. Are they shooting video at the type of event or venue or group that you are hosting? If it's only someone doing magic on the street and getting reactions, I'd be a little weary, because I don't know if they can stand up there for an hour. If I see some, and I know I've watched a video of yours where you have a stool and you're doing your act at a club, and it's not the best shot video, but I watched it and I went, this guy's done it. Not a problem. He knows what he's doing. He can handle any crowd. It makes a big difference. I don't care if you book me, Denny, or someone else, but book someone good. My competition is not another solid performer. My competition is the person who's going to go up there, bomb, or just do a mediocre job, and your club will never hire another magical entertainer. That's my competition.
Now, do you think a lot of that boils down to why do you think they book those people? Do you think it's a cost thing? Why do you think sometimes that happens? For me, I think sometimes it's a cost thing. They just see it as an expense, and and that's it. So they just go, oh, like I've talked to so many clubs, like, oh, this sounds great. And then I reach back out, whatever, like, oh, we just hired someone local. And it's and nothing wrong with that. But if it's not a good, because it's cheaper or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, I think cost is usually the biggest concern. Anybody watching this is going to know 3 and Jackie. Great club people, private club advisor is Jackie. 3 is now in Minneapolis and at a club there, and Edina Country Club. And I was chatting with them the other day, and they gave me a great piece of advice, which is when someone writes back and says, this is out of our budget, I have a pre-written email with a profit and loss statement. And I say, here's how much I cost. Here's how much food and beverage is probably going to cost. Here's how much members are going to have on average 4 drinks. This is how many people at this cost you need to break even. And when they see that, they start to realize, oh, it's not expensive. The initial cost, if I say to you, it's going to cost $10 million, your initial, I'm not spending $10 million. I don't cost $10 million, but if you have the money, I'll take it. But when they see how there's a great delay, so I didn't know if the joke hit, and then you got laughter eventually. So I think the cost issue is not, oh, it costs so much. The cost issue is that single line without realizing, oh, we charge members, oh, we're going to at least break even 90% of the time. And if they follow our advice and use the marketing and don't just put a thing on the calendar, but actually advertise, you're going to actually make money. So I do think that large expense is a turnoff, especially if they're used to spending $150 for a cellist at brunch or $200 for a strolling magician at Easter, Sunday. And they go, wait, why would we pay? We got this strolling magician. We're just going to have that man or woman do it. You are right. It is easier, cheaper to just hire the local person. That way, if it doesn't work, we're not out so much. But they're forgetting that huge part of you don't want to be the first. You don't want to give this person their big break. Let them do their strolling. Let them do a little show at the pool during the summer. But an hour evening out that is determining if those members will come back to a future event. You want to hire the best. Don't spend the least amount possible for something that's really important. You do get what you pay for almost 90% of the time. There is that 10% that are charging a ridiculous amount because maybe they'll get it one day.
They always realize, it might just be me, but like they paid an initiation fee. Like they're not the cheapest club. And then they still go for some of the cheapest stuff. It's like, this doesn't make sense.
Well, the members have money, the club may not. And they're spending their money on golf. They're spending their money on food and beverage. They're spending their money on facilities. Member entertainment is not at the top of almost any club's importance. But when you take a step back and you start thinking about what member events do for your club, it creates engagement. It brings people together. It gives them a reason to come. So yes, your golf members are coming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, but your social members aren't. But if you're getting them to come back more and more, they're going to start going to the bar more. They're going to start having dinner there more. And if you have events, they're going to start coming to events more and probably book it for their holiday party, book it for their wedding or their anniversary dinner. It's all about engagement is what this business is. Going back to that thing about why don't people do it, I think there are some other issues other than cost. I think a huge one is fear. If it doesn't work, I'm going to get fired. If it doesn't work, I'm going to get in trouble. I don't want to take a risk. And I think that's valid. I think that's based on management. In my experience, the best managed clubs that book me are the ones where the person doesn't have a fear of retribution if it doesn't work. They're taking a risk. The manager has encouraged them. And you know what? If 20 people show up, we gave it a shot. I did a show the other night at the Washington Athletic Club, and they had, I think it was 50, 60 people. And I said, how are you feeling? She goes, you know what? This is the first big event we've ever done. I have the ability to book whatever I want, and I'm so thrilled with the turnout. And I said, wow, like, good for you. And she goes, yeah, this is a good success. And this event planner is encouraged by their manager to take chances, to book what they think the members will like. That brings us to the third reason, which is the assumption that members won't like this. And that's probably one of, outside of cost, the biggest no is our members won't like this. And I really do believe that your members are special. They are awesome, but they are not different. No matter the wealth of your membership, no matter the reason they are members of that club, they are not different from everybody else in the world. So the idea that they will not like this, I do a lot of golf events. I do a lot of, stag night shows. So I get a lot of golf clubs that go, our members are only here for golf. They're not interested in events or anything. I go, well, when I did the stag night, they really got a kick out of it. They really liked it because I played to the crowd and I know how to. No, they won't come. Try it. Why not? Now, I'm not talking to golf clubs. I'm talking to country clubs that have a golf basis, not where a golf club we close at night and that's it. That's different. But I do believe the argument of our members won't like it is laziness. I know that's going to turn off a few managers from ever working with me, but that's what it is. It's our members won't like it. I don't want to deal with this. The best thing a member can say is thank you. Wow, thank you. You made my day. I wasn't expecting this. Give them the chance to say that. Give them a chance to be surprised by their club experience.
To the managers and the staff, it is the fear. Or sometimes they just don't enjoy magic and stuff. So they're like, I just don't even want to deal with this. I did one club where it's actually happened a couple times where the club managers are freaking, and you may have had it, where the club managers are like not freaking out before a show, but they're like sweating. They have a couple hundred people there. They have whatever. And they're just like, this is going to be good, right? Like you can just see they're like anxious. And then you can almost watch after like the first like 5 minutes, they're laughing, they're having a good time in the back, they're high-fiving. But it's that fear. And, I don't know if you can say that anymore.
I think that, it used to be okay to be bad. It used to be okay to have a bad night, but with Yelp and Google, even private clubs have to deal with someone going online, especially if they're a guest, went to the club, had a hack act, not worth it. Bad food, horrible entertainment, save your money. That's what there's no privacy anymore. It's no longer a private club because the guest that you brought can put an anonymous review on Yelp or Google and you can't get it off. There's nothing you can do. So I do think there is legitimate fear on the staff, the manager's part before the show, because there is that, oh God, if I made a mistake, there is a small reason for that anxiousness. I think there are some things they can do before the show starts to protect themselves, not protect themselves, but to ease their fear. And I think the first thing is, look at who you're dealing with. If they come in and they're professional, I show up.
That's a wrap. There you have it. Thank you, Mr. Michael Gutenplan. We're going to continue the rest of our talk in the upcoming episodes. If you made it this far, make sure you like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, however you could give us a little bit of lovin's. We appreciate it. The algorithms appreciate it because the more love you show us, the more we show you, and that's the way the world goes round. If you have not already, we are over on Facebook. We have a private Facebook group. It's where I want to cultivate a nice little group of us in the private club world. It's called Private Club Radio Community. I want to continue the conversation over there. I want to ask questions. I want you all to ask questions. I want us to help. I want to have a nice little hive mind. There are no dumb questions. It could be just little pieces of advice. Hey, got an event tomorrow. Hey, got this thing. What would you do? It's a place just for us to go, share, be open, and just have a conversation. You never know, getting that little bit of perspective, that outside view from somebody else. It's just really great. Anything from resources, whatever you're looking for. I just want to have it be a nice, safe place for all of us. But no, a place we can all just go hang out and chat club stuff. So Thank you so much for listening this far. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Denny Corby. Check out the next episode soon. Talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye.